everyone, welcome back to my channel English with Yasara. Today I'll be covering the book Essential English Grammar by Raymond Murphy. Today I'll be discussing lesson number 10. Lesson number 10 is about was and were. So was and were are the past tense forms of the verb to be. Was is used with singular subjects and were is used with plural subjects. Now let's take a look at the usage of was. Was is used when talking about singular subjects in the past. For example, he was a student last year. Was is also used with pronouns he, she, and it. For example, she was happy at the party. Now let's take a look at the usage of were. Were is used when talking about plural subjects or with the pronouns you, we, they in the past. For example, they were friends in high school. Were is also used with the pronouns I in certain situations. For example, I wish I were taller. Also, was and were can be used in the same sentence to express different meanings. For example, I was busy yesterday, but you were free. Okay, with that small introduction, let's move on to the book. So here you can see two pictures. In the left side, it says last night and it's midnight and he's fast asleep in his bed. In the right side picture, it says now and he's actually at work in his office. So let's look at these examples. Now Robert is at work at this present time. The next one, at midnight last night, he wasn't at work, he was in bed, he was asleep. So you can see the difference. We use was to talk about a past scenario, something which has already been happened. In these two sets of examples, you can see how was and were is used with singular subjects and plural subjects. With singular subjects, it's was. With plural subjects, it's were. And in the present scenario, it's am, is. And when we talk about past scenario, it becomes was. Or in the plural forms, the present scenarios are talked with are and the past scenarios are discussed with were. So let's take a look at these examples. I am tired. I was tired last night. Next one, where is Anne? Where is she now? So in the past scenario, where was Anne yesterday? Next one, the weather is good today. Next one, the weather was good last week. So in the plural forms, you are late. So you are late now. Past scenario, you were late yesterday. Next one, they aren't here. They aren't here now. So in the past scenario, they weren't here last Sunday. Now here you can clearly see the positive, negative and the question forms of both the singular forms and the plural forms. For example, I was not, or I wasn't, and was I. And if it's the plural form, we were, we weren't, or we were not, and were we. Now let's take a look at these examples. The first one, last year Rachel was 22, so she is 23 now. So in this example, you can see how the past form and the present form both are used in a single sentence. Next one, when I was a child, I was afraid of dogs. Next one, we were hungry after the journey, but we weren't tired. Next one, the hotel was comfortable, but it wasn't expensive. Next one, was the weather good when you were on holiday? Next one, those shoes are nice. Were they expensive? Next one, why were you late this morning? Now, this is the short answers section. So if you are asked a question, were you late? You can either answer, no, I wasn't, or yes, I was. Next one, was Ted at work yesterday? Yes, he was, or no, he wasn't. Next one, were Sue and Steve at the party? No, they weren't. Now let's move on to the exercises. So here you have to look at the pictures and where were these people at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon? So first one, George was in bed. The second one, Carol and Jack were at the cinema. The third one, Sue was at the train station. Fourth one, Mr. and Mrs. Hall were at a restaurant. Fifth one, Ben was on the beach. Sixth one, and you? I was at work. Okay, in this one you have to put am is are, which is the present form, or was were, which is the past form. So the first one, last year she was 22, so she is 23 now. Next one, today the weather is nice, but yesterday it was very cold. I am hungry. Can I have something to eat? Fourth one, I feel fine this morning, but I was very tired last night. Fifth one, where were you at 11 o'clock last Friday morning? Sixth one, don't buy those shoes. They are very expensive. Seventh one, I like your new jacket. Was it expensive? Eighth one, this time last year I was in Paris. Ninth one, where are the children? I don't know. They were in the garden 10 minutes ago. In this one you have to put in was, were, or wasn't, weren't. So the first one, we weren't happy with the hotel. Our room was very small and it wasn't very clean. Next one, George wasn't at work last week because he was ill. He's better now. Now you see here it could have been the other way around as well. You could have said George was at work last week because he wasn't ill. But now in the next part it says he's better now. So he was ill last week. So you understand how to fill the two gaps. George wasn't at work last week because he was ill, and now he's all better. Fourth one, were Sue and Bill at the party? Sue was there, but Bill wasn't. Fifth one, where are my keys? I don't know. They were on the table, but they're not there now. Sixth one, you weren't at home last night. Where were you? Now in this section you have to write questions. You have to use the words in the brackets in the correct order with was and were. So the answer is given in the right side. So you can first take a look at the answer and get a hint. So in the first one, the traffic was bad. So in this one, late, you, this morning, why? And the subject is you, so the verb should be were. So the question becomes, why were you late this morning? Next one, the answer is no, it was easy. And the subject is your exam, it's singular. So the question becomes, was your exam difficult? Next one, they were on holiday. And the question becomes, where were Anne and Chris last week? So you can see Anne and Chris, that's plural, so it's were. Next one, 60 pounds. So the question becomes, how much was your new camera? So the new camera, it's singular, so it's was. Next one, because you were late. The question becomes, why were you angry yesterday? The subject is you, so the verb is were. Next one, yes, it was beautiful. The question is, was the weather nice last week? So the weather is the subject and it's singular, and so we use was. Thank you for watching, guys. Join me next day for lesson number 11.